Why are the most capable men so often found on the sidelines, observing the game rather than wearing the captain's armband? Have you ever noticed that the individual who understands the entire board is rarely the one making the loudest moves? This isn't a sign of weakness or indecision. It is the hallmark of a different kind of power, a power that doesn't need a stage or a title to validate its existence. They are the architects of their own reality, the silent commanders who lead by embodying strength rather than proclaiming it. Welcome to the Sigma male community, the place for men who walk their own path and build their own empires, not for applause, but for the profound satisfaction of self-mastery. We don't follow the herd because we understand that the most powerful currents are the ones that flow unseen, beneath the surface of the loud, chaotic world. Today we delve into the very essence of this quiet authority, exploring exactly why Sigma males are natural-born leaders, yet so often choose not to take the lead. The world is filled with noise, a constant barrage of opinions and expectations telling you who you should be, what you should want, and how you should measure your worth. The alpha bellows for attention, the beta conforms for acceptance, but the Sigma male simply disconnects from this frequency. He understands that true power, the kind that endures, is not granted by others. It is forged in the silent crucible of the self. This isn't about arrogance or a misplaced sense of superiority. It is about a profound, unshakable understanding of one's own internal landscape. It is the quiet confidence of the Stoic who knows that the only domain he truly controls is his own mind, his own principles, and his own reactions. This journey of self-definition is the most critical mission a man can undertake, and for the Sigma, it is the only one that truly matters. 1. The architect of self, defining identity and success on their terms. To be the architect of your own self is to reject the prepackaged identities the world tries to sell you. Society offers a limited menu of success: the corporate ladder, the pursuit of fame, the accumulation of material wealth. The Sigma male looks at this menu and chooses to write his own cookbook. His blueprint for life is drawn not with the ink of external expectations, but with the unshakable convictions of his own core values. He understands a fundamental truth that escapes most. A trophy is just a piece of metal if the game it represents holds no personal meaning. Therefore, his victories are measured by an internal scorecard, one that values integrity over image and personal growth over public praise. This path of self-creation is inherently solitary, not because of misanthropy, but because the work of building a soul cannot be outsourced or done by committee. It is a testament to the idea that a man's life is his own masterpiece, and he alone must be the artist. This radical commitment to self-definition is the very bedrock of the Sigma's natural leadership potential. A leader who doesn't know who he is will be swayed by every changing wind of opinion, his principles as flimsy as a tent in a hurricane. The Sigma, having built his identity on the solid rock of self-awareness and personal philosophy, possesses an unwavering core. He is not leading a charge for the sake of glory. He is simply living in alignment with his truth, and that authenticity exerts a powerful gravitational pull on those who are tired of the superficial. People are drawn not to a title, but to the quiet certainty of a man who has navigated his own inner wilderness and emerged with a clear map. His success isn't something he chases, it's the natural byproduct of a life lived with deliberate, uncompromising purpose. 2. The unseen current, mastering strategic silence. In a culture that mistakes volume for value, silence is a radical act. The Sigma male has mastered the art of strategic silence, wielding it not as an absence of words, but as a powerful tool for observation and influence. While others rush to fill every conversational gap with noise, desperate to prove their worth, the Sigma remains still, listening. He understands that what is not said is often far more revealing than the words people choose to speak. In the pauses between sentences, he discerns hesitation, detects deceit, and gauges the true emotional temperature of a room. This is not passive. It is an active, highly engaged form of intelligence gathering that allows him to see the hidden currents beneath the surface of any interaction. This mastery of silence is precisely what makes him a formidable, albeit reluctant, leader. When he finally does speak, his words carry immense weight. They are not idle chatter but considered, precise interventions based on a deep and thorough understanding of the situation. People instinctively lean in, recognizing that his contribution is not for the sake of hearing his own voice, but for the purpose of adding genuine value or clarity. This is leadership from a position of centered calm, a stark contrast to the reactive, often chaotic style of those who lead from the ego. The Sigma male's quiet presence creates a space for others to think, forcing a more deliberate and rational approach to any challenge, subtly guiding outcomes without ever needing to raise his voice. 3. The solitary forge, transforming solitude into unbreakable strength. For the average person, solitude is a void to be feared and filled with distraction. For the Sigma male, solitude is the forge where his spirit is tempered. He doesn't just tolerate being alone. He actively seeks it out as a non-negotiable component of his operating system. It is in these periods of quiet isolation that the real work is done. The noise of the world fades away, allowing for unfiltered self-reflection, the untangling of complex problems, and the cultivation of creative thought. This is not a retreat from life, but a strategic advance upon it. He enters solitude to recalibrate his internal compass, to reinforce his principles, and to sharpen the tools of his mind. This ability to not only withstand but thrive in solitude is the source of his profound resilience. A man who is not afraid to be alone is a man who cannot be easily manipulated or controlled. His happiness and sense of self-worth are not dependent on the presence or approval of others, granting him an immense freedom of action. When a crisis hits and the crowd panics, the Sigma male remains a pillar of calm, drawing on the immense inner strength he has cultivated in his solitary forge. He has faced his own thoughts, wrestled with his own demons, and emerged with a centered self-possession that is the hallmark of a true, unshakable leader, one who can guide others through a storm because he has already weathered countless storms within himself. 4. The fluid strategist, adapting with precision to any tide. The world is in a constant state of flux, a chaotic sea of changing circumstances. While many build rigid walls to protect themselves from this volatility, the Sigma male learns to become like water. His power lies in his exceptional adaptability, a fluid grace that allows him to navigate any environment with precision and purpose. This is not the shapeless conformity of the people-pleaser. It is a highly strategic adjustment of tactics, not a surrender of principle. He is a master observer, constantly scanning his surroundings, decoding the unwritten rules, and sensing the subtle shifts in power dynamics long before they become obvious. His mind is a chessboard where he plays out multiple scenarios, anticipating moves and preparing his responses. This hyper-awareness makes him an invaluable asset in any group, even when he isn't formally in charge. He sees the iceberg while others are still admiring the sunset on the deck. This ability to adapt isn't just about survival, it's about turning potential disruption into a distinct advantage. Because his identity is not tied to a specific role or a rigid plan, he can pivot effortlessly, finding opportunity where others see only chaos. This is the essence of strategic leadership, not commanding from a fixed position, but understanding the entire landscape and flowing through it with minimal resistance and maximum impact, guiding the outcome by being the most adaptable person in the room. 5. The inner citadel, cultivating unshakable self-reliance. At the very core of the Sigma male's being is an inner citadel, a fortress of profound self-reliance that is impervious to external assault. He operates from the fundamental principle that the ultimate responsibility for his life, his security, his happiness, his success, rests squarely on his own shoulders. This doesn't mean he rejects collaboration or connection. He is more than capable of working with others. The crucial distinction is that he engages with the world from a position of choice, not need. He doesn't seek a co-pilot out of fear of flying solo. He invites one because he believes the journey will be enhanced. His trust in his own judgment is paramount, freeing him from the paralyzing need for external validation or consensus. This fierce self-reliance is what makes him a natural, if unconventional, leader. He doesn't wait for a committee to grant him permission to act. When he sees a problem, his first instinct is not to ask who is in charge, but to ask himself, how can this be solved? This proactive, solution-oriented mindset often results in him taking effective action while others are still debating procedure. He leads by example, demonstrating a level of competence and decisiveness that inspires confidence. People are drawn to his stability because they sense his foundation is built on the bedrock of his own capability, not the shifting sands of other people's opinions. He is a leader who doesn't need followers, and paradoxically, that is what makes others want to follow his lead. 6. The silent observer, decoding the human equation. The Sigma male is a connoisseur of human nature, a silent observer who reads the intricate language of nonverbal communication with the fluency of a native speaker. While others are captivated by the words being spoken, he is analyzing the symphony of tells that accompany them, the subtle tightening around the eyes, the almost imperceptible shift in posture, the slight tremor in a voice that betrays a carefully constructed facade. He is a student of motivations, understanding that beneath the surface of every interaction lies a complex web of desires, fears, and insecurities. This is not a cynical practice but a deeply pragmatic one. To understand the equation of human behavior is to navigate the world with a superior map. This profound understanding of psychology is a superpower he wields with quiet discretion. It allows him to build genuine rapport because he can sense what others truly need, often before they are consciously aware of it themselves. It makes him an exceptional negotiator, able to anticipate the other party's moves and motivations. In a leadership context, it allows him to see the true dynamics of a team, who the informal influencers are, where the hidden resentments lie, and what truly motivates each individual. He doesn't need to rely on superficial team-building exercises. He leads by understanding the human heart and mind, allowing him to foster genuine trust and cohesion without ever making a grand display of his insight. 7. The Essentialist engine, prioritizing minimalism and brutal efficiency. In a world drowning in excess and distraction, the Sigma male operates as an engine of pure essentialism. He intuitively understands that clutter, whether physical, mental, or social, is the enemy of purpose. He is a ruthless editor of his own life, systematically cutting away anything that does not serve his core mission. This extends far beyond just decluttering his physical space. He streamlines his commitments, prunes relationships that are a net drain on his energy, and filters out the endless stream of information that does not contribute to his growth or objectives. This minimalist approach is not born from a place of deprivation, but from a desire for maximum impact. This brutal efficiency is a key reason why he is so effective. By eliminating the non-essential, he is able to channel his formidable focus and energy into a concentrated beam. While others dissipate their power across a dozen trivial pursuits, the Sigma male applies his full force to the one or two things that truly matter. In any project or team, he is the one who will instinctively identify the critical path, cutting through the noise and bureaucracy to get to the heart of the matter. This isn't about taking shortcuts. It's about finding the most direct, intelligent, and resource-effective route to the objective. He leads not by managing more but by accomplishing more with less, a testament to the power of disciplined focus. 8. The Quiet Master, the relentless pursuit of unseen excellence. The Sigma male is driven by an internal, insatiable hunger for mastery. He views mediocrity not just as a failure, but as an insult to his own potential. His motivation is not the external shimmer of trophies, titles, or public acclaim. It is the deep, resonant satisfaction of becoming truly excellent at his chosen craft. Whether it is his profession, a creative skill, or the discipline of his own mind, he is engaged in a relentless, lifelong process of refinement. He is the one putting in the unseen hours, the one studying his failures with the detached curiosity of a scientist, constantly iterating and improving long after others have declared good enough. This quiet pursuit of excellence is the source of his undeniable authority. He doesn't need to announce his competence. His results speak for themselves with a clarity and volume that no self-promotion ever could. In any setting, people are naturally drawn to the person who demonstrates the highest level of skill and understanding. The Sigma male's expertise, forged in the fires of solitary practice and relentless self-critique, becomes a magnetic force. He leads not by telling people he is the expert but by simply being the expert. His mastery is his mandate, a quiet, irrefutable claim to leadership based on pure, unadulterated capability. 9. The purpose-driven core, navigating by an internal star. At the very center of the Sigma male's psyche is a powerful, unwavering sense of purpose. This is not some vague, lofty ambition. It is a clearly defined internal star that guides his every decision and action. It is the fundamental why that gives his life meaning, direction, and momentum. Before embarking on any venture, whether it's a career move, a relationship, or a simple daily task, he instinctively filters it through the lens of this core mission. If it aligns, he pursues it with his full, undivided attention. If it does not, he discards it without a second thought, understanding that his energy is his most precious resource and must not be squandered on detours. This purpose-driven nature is what gives him his incredible focus and resilience. The inevitable challenges and setbacks of life are not seen as soul-crushing defeats, but merely as obstacles on a clearly marked path. Because his motivation is intrinsic, flowing from the deep satisfaction of living in alignment with his authentic self, he is not dependent on external encouragement to keep going. He is the rare individual who can push a boulder uphill alone in the dark simply because he knows with absolute certainty that this is his hill and his boulder. This internal drive is the essence of true leadership, the ability to provide direction and maintain momentum, even when the path is difficult and the destination is far from view. 10. The horizon gazer, anticipating shifts before the crowd. While most people are preoccupied with the immediate fires of the present moment, the Sigma male is often looking toward the horizon, sensing the subtle changes in the wind. He possesses an uncanny, almost predictive, ability to identify emerging trends, nascent ideas, and underlying cultural shifts long before they become part of the mainstream consciousness. This is not clairvoyance, it is the natural outcome of his dominant traits: deep observation, a mind wired for pattern recognition, and a detached perspective that allows him to see the forest while others are lost among the trees. He connects disparate pieces of information, seeing the overarching narrative where others only see isolated events. This foresight makes him a strategist of the highest order. It allows him to position himself, and by extension, any group he is a part of, to capitalize on future opportunities or to sidestep impending dangers. While others react to change when it crashes upon them like a wave, the Sigma has already adjusted his sails to ride its momentum. This is a form of leadership that is proactive, not reactive. He guides people not by barking orders in the midst of a crisis, but by subtly steering the ship into safer, more promising waters long before the storm ever hits. His value lies in his ability to see what is coming, making him an indispensable, quiet pilot in a turbulent world. 11. The calibrated compass, commanding emotional intelligence. Perhaps the most misunderstood and yet most potent weapon in the Sigma male's arsenal is his highly calibrated emotional intelligence. He is often perceived as detached or aloof, but this is a profound misreading of his internal state. His calm exterior is not the result of a lack of emotion, but of a deep and masterful understanding of it. He possesses a high degree of self-awareness, able to recognize and manage his own emotional responses with a stoic's discipline, preventing them from clouding his judgment. This internal mastery is the foundation upon which his understanding of others is built. Crucially, his emotional intelligence extends outward. He is incredibly adept at reading the emotional states of those around him, sensing the unspoken anxieties, hidden agendas, and genuine feelings that lie beneath the surface. This is not a tool for manipulation but for connection and understanding. It allows him to respond to situations with a precisely calibrated mix of empathy and objectivity. He knows when a person needs quiet support and when they need a dose of hard truth. This ability to navigate the complex, often treacherous, terrain of human emotion with such insight and control is what allows him to build deep, unshakable trust. It is the ultimate form of leadership, the ability to guide, influence, and connect with people on a fundamental human level, commanding respect not through force, but through profound understanding. So, you have walked with us through the inner world of the man who leads from the shadows. You've seen the silent forge of his strength and the unseen currents of his influence. This isn't about idolizing a label. It's about recognizing and cultivating the powerful, timeless principles of self-mastery, resilience, and quiet confidence that define this path. The world has enough loud voices competing for the spotlight. What it desperately needs are more men of substance, men whose leadership is a function of their character, not their title. The journey we've explored today is not an easy one, but it is a deeply rewarding one. It's a path for those who seek not to command others, but to first and foremost command themselves. If the principles we've discussed today resonate with you, if they stir something within your own spirit, then you have found your community. This is more than just a channel, it is a modern stoa, a gathering place for men committed to building lives of purpose and strength. Don't just watch these videos, use them as tools. Reflect on the ideas. Challenge them. Apply them to your own life and witness the transformation. Your journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single, deliberate step. Take that step now. Like this video to signal your commitment. share it with another man who is walking his own path. And most importantly, comment below with the one point that resonated most deeply with you, so we can all learn from each other's insights. If you haven't already, subscribe and turn on all notifications, because our work here at the Sigma Male community is far from over. We are just getting started. Walk your own path, but know that you do not walk it alone. Share this video with friends.